I've been wanting a ripped, distressed looking tight sweater dress. So I came home and just did it to my own dress. I have my own personal technique for ripping it. It's gorgeous. I love how it ripped. First, let's go through the rips really quickly, because these are to me, the really nice, sexy points to rip a dress. You see all that? So that's from, I would say, the heaviness of it is from like thigh down, front and back. The back has it as well, even though the back would be hard to see because there's nothing there stretching it out. So I did it to the side as well, up through my thighs and past my panty area. I'm wearing a blue panty so that you can specifically see it, and past all the way up to my rib cage. I think that this is just so sexy and grunge and lovely all at once, and I love it so much. The hip area is without rip or tears. The thigh is all torn up. Here as well, I will wear it with little black panties so that all the skin could show. And this is me doing the hip, kind of slightly butt area. It looks really cool. I put some holes and then I tore through. The left arm, I left completely alone. The right arm, I completely tore it up. It's hard to tell, but it's completely torn up, like ripped into shreds. The left arm, I left it completely neat, without a tear, without a scratch, without anything, because I felt, and I hope that this can make some kind of sense. There's hair in my mouth. I felt like if I left this nice and neat and clean, the dress would look expensive. My technique of tearing it up, I cut a hole. Let's see, I'm gonna lift up my dress. Don't be offended by my blue panties. I cut a hole, right? Let's say I cut this hole, which this is one of the holes I tore up, as you can tell from that and how messy it is, but I'll explain that in a minute. I cut a hole. Let's go to this one. This is one I cut. I cut this hole and then I'll pull through the threading, and the threading would just go like a domino effect. It would completely open up like a domino effect. So you see that the more you pull, the more threading separates, the more sheer it is. If you don't pull as much, like you see this thin black line here, that's because the threading there is still tight, it's still together. If I were to pull through the threading there, you see? It's like a domino effect, it starts opening up. So I like to have some darker spaces like that, so I didn't fully make it completely sheer and thin. But for the most part, it is 90% like this, like torn apart, like really, really thin and sheer. So the more you pull, the better. If you want it to make it look accidental and raggedy and distressed, leave some dark spaces. So the difference between these two holes is the fact that this is the one that I cut with scissors and then pulled the threading through. This one, I cut somewhere and then I ripped it more with my hand. So I'm gonna do that here. That to me gives a more distressed look. So this is much neater. And now look, if I put my finger through here and rip it, it'll be like more distressed looking. It'll be more distressed looking. So that's my technique for doing it. Also, I put it in the machine, which made it fuzzy. It made all the threading come out from around the holes. It gave all the threading like this fuzzy, like a really distressed fuzzy effect, which took it to a next level for me. Can you see? Can you see how pretty it looks? With the boots, just really pretty, really grungy. It's a really wide lens camera, and so it's making me look really small and I can't see myself with with the boots. Take a look at this, because I want to show you what I thrifted yesterday. Just last night I got this sweater, and it is trying to do this. I think it's trying to do this, and I want to show you what not to do. But this is not so bad, even though it's very obvious in that it's like a triangle zigzaggy cut, but I don't mind it. I don't mind the neckline either. I love how open it is. This is what drew me to this. I love this area I mentioned. I think it's lovely. I think it's sexy. I think it's everything. So yeah, so they did the same thing here, and again, very like triangle, there's a pattern, and patterns are not accidentals, and tears and rips are. So that, it's not terrible, but those all look like tassels to me. They're very, very, very on purpose. And like I said, the nature of a rip or a tear or a like distressed look is accidental, right? So it shouldn't be so in your face like this, but this is so cute. I had to get it. Beautiful skirt. I think it's vintage. I think it's old. I'm not sure. It's this black lace in the center of the skirt, which I think is DIY. I love the back. Like, I love how it lands on your hip and your butt, and it just looks so... This is an old sweater I got from Goodwill. Yeah, size L. So I got this, I don't know how many years ago, but I recently cut it. I recently cropped it and then I gave it a higher cut on the back. Excuse me if I keep looking at the monitor. It is distracting. Lens is here. The monitor is here, so it's difficult. Anyway, we'll get it together eventually. So I cut it higher in the back. I cropped it in the front, regular. But in the back, I went a little higher because when I move, when I groove, when I dance, when I walk, I want it to show my back. I want my back to be exposed because it is so sexy to show, you know, I mean, for me, women are just sexy. You just can't help it. But having that extra bit of skin, it just looks even sexier to me. Again, it looks beautiful with the boots. It's getting cute, mom. I mean, I'm a mom, so everything is gonna be giving blah, 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 mom. There were so many maxi skirts back in the day. So look at this beauty that I got. So I almost didn't get it because it has a very, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll give you an up close shot in a minute. The stitching is red. It goes across. I almost didn't get it for two silly reasons. One, the red stitching. It felt very specific. But then I told myself, it's unique, it's pretty, you better take it. The second reason is the pockets. I felt like the pockets were too far apart. Oh, cute. I love it. I love it. I feel like I like when the clothes makes me feel like I can just move slightly, like sway, and look sexy. I'm cute. Gray jeans are Periellis. Thrifted. So it's a jean boyfriend shirt. It's an XL and it's boyfriend, meaning it's really large on me. So so I cut it like this. I counted the buttons, I touched my belly button, and I saw, okay, the third button is the one that's right above my belly button. So right to the third button is where I'm gonna start to cut for the front. I moved around in it to see how these cuts are gonna work with different cuts and waist or low waist, and I went with this. And I think I'm happy because overall the belly button is the guy. I love how big the shirt is, and cropped like this, I think it's perfect. Perfectly like baggy for this cropped look. It does something. It gives me a sweater feel, and I enjoy it. I'm comfortable. I feel good in it, and that's really what matters. I love mixing jean colors, so the blue and the gray look really good together. It gives me again that like blasé, comfortable, careless look. I think it looks cool. I don't know, something about it. There's different cool things to do with this, by the way. Like if I wanted to tie them up, I could. Like, see? If I wanted to tie them up and give them a different look, give the outfit a different look, I could.